Crest 100 downhill, slow, unseen, open hairpin left.
Where am I? What is this place?
I'm surprised you remember so little.
Into fall left long of a jump, opens long.
Perhaps you do remember.
What? It's just a stupid nightmare.
Nightmare or memory?
Left, extra, extra long.
Stop fighting. Let it flow.
To keep right into 5 left. Left and 3 right. Opens 50. Nice jump. Into 6 left long. Opens 100. Uphill. Very early, 6 right of a crest jump and 5 left, very long, tightens 3.
Your story may not have such a happy beginning, but that doesn't make you who you are. It is the rest of your story, who you choose to be.
100, keep middle of a crest, 30, short, 3 right.
And if you take a look at the send here in a couple seconds, 1 downshift, throw it in.
Into 1 left.
Gap down from the spin. And able to make about 5 seconds. Oh my god. Wow.
So, who are you, Panda?
I am Poe.
Starts 100, slow, keep left of a long crest, 30, turn, hairpin right. Good luck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 100, slow, keep left of a long crest, 30, turn, hairpin right. Opens 4 right of a crest, into turn, hairpin left, don't cut. 80, 6 right of a crest, very long, tightens 5, 30, 4 left long tightens, opens 30, turn, don't cut to left. 180, turn unseen, 4 right of a crest, 50, 6 right of a crest long, tightens 4, slow 30, turn sudden, square right, and turn square left, 80, 6 right long, 70, turn unseen hairpin left, into 6 right, 70, turn hairpin left, opens flat of a crest, 100, slow crest into turn square right, opens 140, 6 left long, 50, turn 1 right of a crest, 100, flat left in dip, a jump maybe, 50, turn square right. 50, 6 right long, opens of a crest, into slow, 5 left long, tightens turn, don't cut, 1 left, 80, turn unseen, 1 right of a crest, tightens, 200, long flat crest, 100, turn unseen, don't cut hairpin right. Into 5 left long, 50. Slow turn unseen, 1 left, don't cut of a crest, into flat right. Into 5 left long of a crest, 40. 6 right long, 120. slow 6 left over crest into turn 2 right, tightens narrow. 80 over crest, turn unseen, turn square right, don't cut. Into 5 left long, opens 150. Crest, into 6 right, 140. Caution crest, turn, don't cut square left. Opens 50 over crest, turn hairpin right. 50. 6 right, turn unseen, square left. 50. 6 right over crest, open slow 30, turn unseen, 1 right. 3 left, opens, keep right over 50, turn unseen, tight hairpin left, don't cut. 50. Crest, into turn square right, don't cut. Into 6 left over crest 50, turn unseen, square left, don't cut. 50. Over finish, 2 left long, tightens to stop. Well done.
Hello everyone, CD Racing here, and welcome back for episode 18 of our Dirt Rally 2 Career Mode series. Now, last time out, a lot happened, and I've been gone for a little while, and if you want to hear exactly what's been going on, I will talk about that at the end of the video, but for now, as you can see, we've got an absolute banger ahead of us. We took the lessons, you could call them, that we learned in the first 2 rallies, and we walked into Germany angry, upset at ourselves because we were not performing at the level that we know we can perform at. So we locked in, we tuned the car for the first time. Let's see how it works for us. And real quick, just because it's been a while since we uploaded the video, let's get a quick recap of what's going on in the standings, the current championship, and more unfortunately our car, but all to be seen. So recap of the first 2 rallies. Second place after a close one in Argentina, and we went into Greece with a little bit of confidence, and as you can see from the 7th place and some of the low lights from last video, it went very poorly. 3rd place in the championship, barely ahead of 4th, 10 points behind 2nd, so a lot to go. But if you see those symbols on the bottom of your screen, and more specifically in the repair mode section, this car is rough after the last rally. Now, we had the option to replace the engine for 50 grand. We are not going to do that. It's doing fine damage-wise, but as far as all the other parts that we pretty much shattered go, it's going to cost us quite a bit. $60,000 just to get the car ready to go into Germany. Yikes. We are quite literally paying for our mistakes, but we're going to go ahead and double down on the money spendage and apply engine tuning 3. A little bit less durability, much faster car, but we need that. It's an asphalt rally. We're going to be pushing the car hard. And because of that, we also upgraded the brakes. You guys can tell I was a little confident going into Germany. There's a reason. This is my favorite rally in the game. I perform best at it. And you're going to see why. So we're actually going to skip the first stage, just a little sad. Now, I'll explain why in a little bit. But quick low roller rally, in case you've never seen Germany before, it's very flat, and it honestly looks the exact same on every stage, except for maybe 1 or 2 forest sections. You're basically just racing around what seems like an abandoned airport or a runway. There's a lot of long straights, very tight technical sections, as you can see from the road maps laid out ahead of you. It's going to be a wild one. Looking over some of the sectors or splits that we have, lots of very short rallies. You see back-to-back less than 4, and then next sector, almost 7 miles back-to-back, and it's going to bounce back and forth. But regardless, soft tires are the king. We are going to run them pretty much the entire weekend, getting ready to look over everything. We're going to go ahead and tune the car. I will not show that on screen, but if you guys want to see how I tune my cars, let me know. I will add it next video. For now, we're going to go ahead and go to the shakedown and let you guys know how we're feeling. All right, so loading into the shakedown here in Germany, let's get a quick taste for what you can expect here. So launching the car soft, we're going to be on asphalt all weekend. Very easy clutch drops as far as the starts go. And early goings, 3 right over crest, 4th gear, flat out midway through the corner. That is not something that you see very often here on this channel. And you can see I'm not very used to the speed difference either. Going into that braking zone, it was hot. And this weekend, as far as our standards this season go, it was pretty good. But I will say, anything to point out, missing shifts, and carrying too much speed in the corners. And I've already gone through 2. And in the background, you might hear the game audio cut out. That is why we are skipping the first stage. I have rebuilt my PC, and the audio was cutting out because my mic was unplugged halfway. It's a whole thing. So we're skipping the first stage. The stage that you guys saw at the end of the intro was the second. So we are going to hop back on board at the start of the third after the first service station, and let's see how the weekend progresses. All right, so looking over the third stage that we're going to load into here, less than 4 miles, honestly, barely over 3. And looking at our car, isn't that a sight for sore eyes? A service station where the car doesn't look like we threw it off a cliff, and minimal damage. Now, we do have a little bit of bodywork damage, and honestly, I'm going to say that's quite the overreaction because we barely clipped a little rock on the inside of the stage, and you couldn't even see the damage. But, you know, I digress. They're the experts, not me. Looking at the tire situation, we got a quick check. Realized we had another back-to-back less than 4 miler, so soft tires getting slung on here. We have quite a bit of grip, as you guys have seen from what we've got available this weekend, but now we're narrating.
Starts 50, turn 1 left, don't cut, good luck.
All right, and calls are going to come pretty quick here because of the speed that we maintain, so get ready to lock in to the best of your ability. As the lights go up, so do the revs, but much lower than usual. Let that clutch out slowly, and now we launch the car. 1 left, don't cut, open 100 into chicane right entry. First time we've seen chicanes here on the channel, I believe, so quick downshift, send it in, power out early. And we're going to do the exact same thing for the second one. Chicane left entry, power in, double downshift. As soon as you know you've made it, back on the gas and power out accordingly. And now, square right, coming at the end of their high-speed section. Lock it down into second gear, power out early. And yes, this is very different from how we usually drive vehicles here on this channel. This is technically a rally, but it's an asphalt rally, and we have tuned the car accordingly. So it's basically like a track day. And from the visual aesthetics of this rally, it definitely feels like you're at more of an autocross event with a co-driver than at a rally. So right here, 3 right into square right, don't cut 50. So hard on the brakes, and you got a little bit of straight line afterwards. So we're going to pair out for speed into 4 left, don't cut, open 200. So pedal to the metal, absolutely, foot to the floor, and then into a don't cut 1 right. So rapid changes of speed are the name of the game here in Germany, if I can highlight anything. The asphalt rally, you're aware of that. You have a lot more available grip, and that gives you significantly more speed through these sections. You see right here, I'm almost at the top of 5th, and then going into a 4 left 100, we're going to just quickly downshift into 4th, throw it around that corner, and get a little close to the rocks, tapping them just a little bit, but managing to get away without any major damage. I bet that's a sight for sore eyes after the last couple rallies, but it's going to be a good one, I'll tell you that much right now. And again, back to speed. That was a 2 right, and we stayed in 3rd gear, quickly shifted into 4th. Right here, 4 right, don't cut, pedal to the metal in 5th, send it around. You're looking at the stage as it opens up in front of you, and because it's a flat asphalt rally, you get to do something that you don't normally get to do in other rallies, which is look visually at the exact stage in front of you. And that really does help you visualize just how much speed you can carry through these corners. Obviously, co-driver, most important benefactor of your speed. But when you can see what's in front of you, like earlier when there was that 4 right that we just sent it through, I saw that, yeah, it's a 4 right, but I'm coming at that speed, it's a wide corner. We can just out that, and that's exactly what we did. Right here, 2 right, don't cut, slow it down quite a bit, watch your downshifts. This is still a manual car, and I will not toot my own horn too many times, but if you are a sketchy or novice manual driver, you can look at the shifts and just know these are all heel toes. Every now and then, if I come in a little too hot, you might see me go from 3rd to 1st really quick. I do sometimes skip a gear if I really need to just make sure I've got the power to send it out, because there will be times where I bog down, try to thug it out in 2nd gear, and we're just out of the boost range, car's making no power, and we crawl out of the corners. And as we've seen, competition this season is insane. As we go into this forest toge section, back-to-back hairpins, just going to hug the inside line, power out accordingly. And it's been quite the show of what we're capable of when we know what we're doing and we get out of our heads. Very, very good stage that's played out in the background here. And into this braking zone here, it was 100 into square right, and usually I'd brake way later, but you see the gradient of the hill that we were going down, very steep downhill. Always want to make sure you brake early. Right here, we've got 6 right, opens 80 into jump slow into unseen 1 left. So you're going to brake before the jump to give yourself the speed to slow down, then build it in for this 1 left. Probably going to brake a little bit later, but it's better to be safe than sorry, especially with how it's been going for us this season. And crossing the first narrated stage, 6 seconds over Espernard. It's usually the opposite, even if we had a good stage. But I told y'all, we came to play today. It is our day. It is our rally. 3:20 is our current time. And yes, you heard it from the co-driver. Looking like a stage win. And we're going to try and keep that going. Look it over once again. That is a 6-second victory, a little over 6 seconds. And our third place championship rival, who we're behind Vidal, is down there in 7th. And slight spoiler warning, he did not put on his big boy pants before this rally. Absolute snooze fest from him, and we're going to get quite the points haul taken away from him. But going into the 4th stage here, second narration, we're switching it up. Back-to-back stages in the first sector were the same stage backwards. And now we get to do something a little bit different. Very fun stage here in front of us. Let's see how we handle a lot more technical type sections. All right, so lining it up. We know we got a square left, don't cut as the first call here. Let's see if we remember that as we hold the revs, get ready to hold it on. 3,300 or 3,500 RPM seems to be my ideal sweet spot for launching this car. Unseen square left. Looks like we semi-remember that was there. 280 into hairpin right. So we're going to get all of the speed and then lose all of it going into this hairpin. Could have gone for a Scandi flick, but I was slightly questioning where the actual entrance is. And you don't want to go for a Scandi flick unless you're absolutely certain, because you can send it off the track, as we have many times. One left here, the top of an uphill. We're going to carry quite a bit of speed and have faith in the asphalt. And it gets a little sketchy. And here we go. I was trying to stay in second there. Should have gone into first. You saw the car just very slow to get away there until I threw it in the first gear and dumped the clutch. Not very nice to the car, not very nice to our times. And we're probably going to come across this timing board a little bit behind the current stage leader. Yeah, 5th place at 1.2 seconds behind the stage leader in Esplanade, of course. 5 right into 4 right, 30 into square left. We've got 30 meters of straight line. Slow it down, slamming it into a rock on the outside. Probably should have tried to slow down a lot earlier there, but minds were not focusing on the fine. In fact, I was focusing on the fact that we were losing a stage for the first time this rally. Not that I should, but 30 into narrow, 3 left 30. So that narrow scares you. You want to slow it down a little bit more in case the stage really closes down on you. And then into hairpin, yank that handbrake to get it turned around, because again, did not go for the Scandi flick. And if you don't have the momentum, you have to yank the wheel hard and simultaneously pull the handbrake to get that rear end rotated around. If you don't do that, these hairpins, these low speed corners, especially in all heavy all-wheel drive cars, it's going to be rough. And luckily in asphalt rallies, you saw with that particular turn, in low speed, maybe not square left, but like flowing 1 and 2s, drive it like you're at the track. Try to keep your tires without breaking grip, or just maximize your grip levels, power out of the corners as soon as you can. But for situations like this, where you come in a little too hot and again miss your shift into first, you're slow to get out of these corners and you lose so much time. And this is the first stage this weekend that we have consistently been behind the leader. Going into this hairpin, you saw again, I was a little scared, try to do the traction way, understeered through the hairpin. So low speed corners, our weakness this weekend, at least early goings. And now again, try to mitigate understeer, sent it in too quick, went to the outside. It's a whole thing. But learning is part of rally as we sketchily land over a quick lower jump there. You want to keep your wheel as straight as possible when you're landing from a jump. I didn't there. You saw a sketchy landing. 60 narrows into 4 right. So that 4 right, we've taken it quickly before. We're going to hold our trust here into 3 left, 8 it. 80. My bad. Sorry about that. And going again, 2 left opens 30 into hairpin left. So watch your speed, downshift, grab the handbrake real quick, swing it around the rocks, and then steering to avoid the rocks, drifting towards the outside. 150 into 60 into narrow 3 right tightens. Why there were 2 different distance calls is beyond me. But we're going to go ahead and slow it down anyways into the hairpin right. Keep it in first gear. And again, if we get out of the boost range and the car sits still, this car has no power to get out of these low speed sections. So we're going to bookmark that as we take our first loss of the rally, 2 seconds under Esplanade. Still significantly better than we're used to. And despite the fact that I talked a lot of smack about our low speed sections there, we actually won the final sector of this stage. So notes to take. We got to figure out these low speed sections. We did not change anything to the car tuning wise, which I think is hilarious. I probably should have, but we did not. So going into the end of the second split, leading a rally for the first time this season. Let's see if we can keep it going. All right, so stage 5, first long one, almost 7 miles, a little more like 6.5 if we're being real, but it's a fun one. You see, we now have a little bit of actual damage to the front of the car, but still significantly better than what we're used to, and progress is progress. Brakes are a little worn down because we've been using them quite a bit, even with the durability upgrades. You know, constant slamming of the brakes, 100+ miles an hour over the course of the stage. They're going to wear out. It doesn't matter what they're made of. So I think the upgrades still proved to be useful. The fact that we got through 2 service stations before they were just a little worn down, those are some pretty solid brakes. Looking over the tires once again, this was a back-to-back long stage. and I didn't want to take the chance of the tires falling off, so we opted for the mediums. Let's see how it goes.
Start 60 over crest, turn unseen, square left, don't cut.
All right, so besides the mystery of why he doesn't say good luck to us anymore, crying, we got to figure out if we can cope with these medium tires. It's going to be a noticeable loss of grip, and you'll see what I'm talking about pretty early going into this stage. 60 over crest, unseen square left, don't cut, 280. Now you're going to recognize this is the exact same stage that we did last time out, but it's expanded. We're going to keep going. But early goings here, look at the lack of grip. First gear there, I barely grabbed the handbrake, and we power slid around that entire hairpin. Now, that did not catch enough in my mind about the available grip ready for me, but going into this one left, I did play it a lot more cautious. I knew I was on the medium tires. Last time it was sketchy on fresh softs, so next time around, play it a little bit safer, go a little bit slower, but because we didn't bog down to the first, we probably took that entire sector faster than we did last time. 120 after consecutive sixes, into 5 right, into 4, 30, into unseen square left, don't cut. So we know at this corner we got caught out last time. Making sure to hit the brakes early this time, avoiding the rocks, still going wide. So notes to take, we got to hit the brakes even earlier than possible. Not than possible, than we have before. But that might also be because of the medium tires, less available grip. You're going to slow down just a little bit slower. Going into the technical section, let's see how we cope here again. Hairpin right, you see the tires sliding under speed. Throw it in second gear. The tires are loose enough to actually maintain that breakage grip in second gear. So we're going to bookmark that again in these low speed sections in second gear. A little bit of slide and then power out early. Square right, same thing. Make sure you're in second. Find your racing line. Power out as early as possible. Swing it to the right hand side so you can set yourself for this 2 left, don't cut, into narrow 6 right. So power out over 300. We're out of the technical section, and looks like we did okay. A little over 2 seconds to Mr. McNay, who is currently beating Mr. Bernard. Rare to see Bernard lose a stage, barring a massive penalty. You can see from the guy in the top right, Mr. McNay, you may not know, but he's also an American. And it's starting to feel like Inglourious Bastards, because the Americans came to Germany this weekend, and we're taking over. And as I say that, once again, I understeer through a very slow hairpin, so I continue the streak of immediately facing karma when I start to talk well about myself. But we're going through these corners, low speed, not breaking grip, because I wanted to save the tires. I was a little paranoid that they were going to fall off, because towards the end of the last sector, those softs were falling off, and this split is basically going to be double the length. So medium tires, playing it safe, still gaining time on the computer. We're now 2.6 over the stage leader, and S. Bernard has regained his lead, at least over this sector. So 2 left tightens. We've seen this before last stage. We're going to go ahead and flick the car and maintain speed, and then set ourselves up for this very low-speed left-hander. That was a pretty nice sector by me, not to toot my own horn. Again, back into the consecutive distance calls into narrow 3 right tightens, turn hairpin right. So watch your speed coming in. You're going to be unsettled. The car's turning in. I tried to straighten it out and then power out, and again, catching the car with no momentum into first gear. There's no power coming out, and we lose a little bit of time on that sector. So now, this is uncharted territory right here. Or is it? Yes, it is. This is the stage that you guys did not get to see because I had audio cutting out, but it is now the second half of a longer stage. So 4 right into hairpin left. Watch your speed. Throw it in, ideally. And because I didn't, especially in all-wheel drive, you are going to understeer. I am not going to yank the handbrake very often, ever, if we're being completely honest. But asphalt rallies, low-speed corners, if you want that rear end of an all-wheel drive car to be usable and thrown out there, you gotta either grab a little bit of handbrake or throw it in aggressively. And now that I've highlighted that, I want y'all to watch the way that I enter these corners, because it's usually a very aggressive turn in, and then you just kind of balance the wheel to maintain grip. And then in braking situations, you should try to keep the car as straight as possible so you don't do what I just did right there. But unstable, not in a straight line, that's a lot of force physically in the tires, and you can't cope with all that. You slow down very slowly, and back to back, going in too hot to corners. I did say that was going to be a problem for us, and the brakes might actually be overheated. Dirt Rally 2 doesn't really get the rep for being a pretty accurate simulator, but it's brutal and it's realistic, and the brakes get very warm here. So over the course of that section, back-to-back hard braking zones at speed. Those last couple corners, it was spongy, but now things are going to cool down, hopefully get a little bit better. 6 left into 50, into 1 right over crest. So watch your braking into the 1 right. I did not. Once again, soaring past our ideal stopping point, and that is pretty much back-to-back bad stopping points. So we're going to try and take notes going into this low-speed section, which opens right back up to us. And again, the speed changes of Germany, you are ever on it. You really want to listen to your co-driver to know when you can gain as much speed as possible, because you might get into the rhythm of thinking, okay, here's a 1, here's a 2, and then here, you've got a 1 opens into 200. So if I had prioritized that corner to maximize my exit speed, I could have taken this entire straightaway probably like a second faster, because I just had that much speed over the course of it. Those are the things that you can do in Germany to maximize your time. Find those spaces when you have a long straight and just power out as early as possible. And then when you take low-speed corners, try not to drift to the outside into the grass. If we were anywhere but Germany, that wouldn't be the grass, that would be a cliff. So perhaps a little bit of luck here. Germany is definitely a more forgiving rally, but it is by far the fastest besides Finland. It may be faster than Finland. 6 left into 2 right narrows. Again, look at the speed that we carry through a 2 right narrows. That is 4th gear exiting a 2 right. That's unheard of anywhere but Germany. 5 left opens 150 as we are now 3.6 seconds ahead of the stage leader, and it looks like we are going to coast to another very easy stage win here in Germany. But this one was a big one. This is a long one. Slowing down into a square left at the end of a high-speed section. It looks like we've locked in with our distances again. Very calm entry, 50 into a hairpin right again. Slowing down all the way gives us the ability to have those tires grip where we want them to, and we do not understeer through the corner. And doesn't it just look so much smoother? It's easier on the tires. It is faster. It's just the best way to do it. But in situations sometimes where you can't slow down, grab that handbrake, throw the ass of the car around, and power accordingly. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just hard on the tires. See right here, I came in hot, mini Scandi flag, grab a bit of handbrake, power slider on the corner. You keep a lot of time. It's whichever one works for you. Find your flow, find your rhythm, and the most important part is, did you total the car? No, we did not. 2 left over the finish, 4-second victory over Esplanade. We continue a dominant showing in Germany. You think I was going to put an intro that hype for a mid-performance? No. We are blowing our rivals out of the water. And as we go in to the next stage, we are going to skip it once again, because this is the exact same stage backwards. So we're going to catch back on going into the next service station and see how the rest of the rally progresses. All right, so actually hopping back on board towards the end of the next stage, just so you guys have a feel for the entire weekend. Almost 2-second victory over Esplanade in that one. I guess we are a little bit better at the stage's forward variant, or Esplanade learned from the first time and applied it in reverse. Either way, we still won. Haha, you lose. I'm going to take all of the salt in this victory, because Esplanade has absolutely humiliated us up until this point, and I'll be damned if I'm going to be humiliated by the Frenchman. So we're going to keep it going. We're going to rub it in, and we are now dealing with gearbox whining. Not particularly surprising. This is a close ratio 6-speed transmission, and we have rapid speed changes. We are pretty much always doing something with the clutch and shifting, and that takes its toll on the gearbox. So, stage 7, 7.25 miles. This is a fun one. It's going to be a very high speed. We know we've got a little bit of damage to the car that we have plenty of time to fix, because we have not been smacking trees. Crazy what you're capable of when you stop hitting things. And if we can keep this going, it looks like an engine upgrade is in our near future, because if we don't have as much of a time crunch, we have more time to fix the engine. Meaning we can afford to run it a little higher tuned, a little more stress on the car at the expense of a significantly quicker car. Sounds like something we might want to consider if we continue this good form. But for now, finishing out this rally, we've got a little bit shorter split here, back to the soft tires, premium grip over a great stage. Watch this one.
Starts 200. Flat crest, 35 right. Good luck.
All right, so this one's going to start pretty quick, and it's going to stay quick for a second besides 1 or 2 breaks. So hold on here. As the lights go up, so do the revs. Holding it at 3,000 RPMs. Let the clutch out slowly, and then get into the power bin all the way into second, into third. We're going to roll through the gears here. 230 into 5 right, into 4 left. Opens, so watch that 4 left entrance, into 100. Opens 100, we know we can power out early. We are in 6th gear. 70 over 5 right, opens over crest 120. So if we just let off a little bit, keep it in 6 all the way on the power. Start downshifting early so that you can get ready for this low speed square left. Quick breather over succession. We got a square left, don't cut. Again, routine at this point. Just hit your downshifts, watch your racing line power out as soon as possible. 60 into 5 left, opens into 150. We are going to be absolutely flying over 100. A huge jump ahead of us right here. You see them signifying it on the stage. We're just going to all of the air at 140 miles an hour. That is air to be holding at that much speed. I don't know the exact miles an hour on that one, but it's got to be north of 130. Because we were pretty much at the top of 6th gear, and then going into a very, very hard braking zone. managing to not really lock the tires that bad and get it slowed down, I will say that's impressive on our end. It's actually very easy to lock the tires on asphalt and dirt rally too. It's just a physics thing. But in that situation, managing to keep the car happy, getting the car turned in speed, 5 left into 50, into 4 right over crest. It's got all of the speed, all of the changebacks. I told you this is an insane stage. 4 left into 4 right, only 0.7 seconds ahead of the stage leader at the moment. It is neck and neck, even at high speed. 5 right into immediate hairpin left. So hard on the braking into the 5 right, swing it around, grab some handbrake, power out of curling, the 200 into jump 80. Back up to the high speed. I told you, this stage is insane. One of my favorite in the games, and we're going to keep it going for now. 6 left opens into 150, seen, unseen 1 left, don't cut. Get on the brakes hard, find your entrance. You see that concrete block on the inside. That's why we got the don't cut call. 5 right opens 130 into calls that I could not see or hear. We are going so fast, I quite literally can't process the calls. And recovery after a sketchy moment. If you run that one back, wheels on the grass, used the momentum swinging back in our favor to swing around for the square left. Not on purpose, but it worked out for us. 250 downhill into a 2 right, opens narrow. So, watch yourself into the closing down section, get ready for it, and then power out accordingly. 80 into 4 right, into 5 left. These calls are insane, and we're going to now back off from the calls. It's going to slow down just a little bit and also get into parts of the rally that you have seen before. And we're now going to focus on the driving technique. We are halfway through a long stage. Fatigue has not set in because I'm not doing this in real life. In real life, you are probably feeling it at this point, unless you are a precision athlete. You are throwing this car around hard. So what you do in these situations, whether in real life or in the sim, because I guess mental fatigue is a real thing, you need to just block out any external thought. I know that sounds weird, but you can force a flow state if you only listen or absorb everything in front of you. Pay attention to the track, listen to the calls as they come in, and you'll be okay. 160 into square right. I know what 160 meters looks like. I know what a square right requires. I slow down accordingly and power out just like this. And now we've set ourselves up greatly for this upcoming section. And obviously that's just one section, and I understeered at speed. But if you can link these sections together, take it one call at a time, it does not matter how long the stage is, because you're either going to crash or you're not going to crash. And your job as a rally driver is to not crash as quickly as possible until you cross the finish line. But for a stage like this, at the speed at which it's taken and the length that it is, you could consider it a little bit of an endurance. It's quite the sprint to be taking high speed, and it is more mentally exhausting than regular track racing because you haven't taken this stage 50, 60 times minimum in preparation for this particular run. There is no qualifying, there's no nothing. This is your maybe 4th or 5th time driving this entire stage, and maybe it's just because we've linked roads. So the mental fatigue that comes in towards the end of a rally, long high-speed stages, that's when mistakes get made. You'll notice in a lot of my videos, things will start okay and then unravel rather quickly, and that's what happens when that mental fatigue comes in. But for now, I was determined, I was focused, I was angry at how the earlier rallies had gone, and we're going to keep that pace for the weekend. And I'm not saying that to rub it in your face. I'm saying I can focus better than you. I'm saying that as a reminder. If you feel yourself slipping, if you feel yourself thinking about anything else than what is exactly in front of you, stop it. Get out of your head. Focus on what's in front of you. Right now, 4 right long opens over crest, into 4 left long tightens. All those calls signify something. And if you digest them as well as you can, you will take these corners as well as you can. A lot of my friends in real life who watch my videos always say, man, I know you know what those calls mean, but how do you have the confidence and the consistency to do that stage after stage? It's all about focus. I know that's a broken record. I know that's a basic thing to say, but look at the confidence in which I'm throwing the car into these hairpins and these high-speed sections, despite the fact that I'm in a forest with trees around. 5 left, 100 downhill. I know that's a pretty high-speed corner, so I want to be full speed down here. Hairpin left after 100. I know when the car brakes. I know when to. I know this is a hairpin into another hairpin, so I'm going to go shallow, maintain speed, and power out of the second hairpin. And all of that was digested and doable because the only thing I was focusing on was the track in front of me, the car that I'm controlling, and the calls that are presented to me. And the second that those are the only things on your mind when you're out on these stages is when you will notice the biggest improvements ever. You can tune the car as much as you want, but if you don't hear the calls, you're going to crash. And you can hear the calls as well as you can, but if you don't really understand the car underneath you, it's going to be okay. But once all those things finally come together, once they finally start to click, you have monster stages like this one, almost 7 miles of high-speed intensity that you're winning by 6.5 seconds at almost the hardest difficulty in the game. And again, I'm not saying this to brag, even though it comes off that way. I'm saying that so that you can remember, focus, learn your car, and the results will come naturally. These first 2 rallies this season, awful. I'm not going to beat around the bush. They were awful displays of what we are capable of, even at the higher difficulty. But now that we finally put it together, focused, and tuned the car to understand what's underneath us, we have had a dominant performance. Now, let's put ourselves back to reality, because even after that performance, that is 37 seconds off the world record. 2800th in the world is that stage time, and you'll notice... Boring! Everybody's using the Lancia when they're actually going for leaderboards. So although the 555 Impreza is probably the more legendary, well-known car, apparently the kids like the Lancia a little bit more. And we're going to give you guys a little treat. For those of you that haven't rationalized how fast we've been moving this rally, there's a quick little cut of how quickly we jumped that little gap right there. And then going into this closing down section, look at the speed that we are holding into that braking section. Hard on the brakes. See the dust kicking up from the street, not from the lockup. Brakes glowing red. And again, these are tight corners. These are square rights, 1 left, so we are sending it through. And these right here, these are 4 lefts, 5 lefts open. And again, pedal to the metal, soaring past, utilizing all of the road. And again, that's because we are paying attention to the signs and the calls as they come in from the co-driver. And none of this would be possible if we did not have that and that focus. So I wanted to showcase this real quick because it's cool to visualize how quick you're going. You can also use these third-person replays as a learning experience, but the best thing to use these for is to realize how fast you're going. It really does humble you when you're in the car. If you're kicking yourself, telling yourself you're not going fast enough, you're tripping. Respectfully, you're always going fast enough. And we're going to go ahead and skip the 8th stage. Coming in towards the end here, a 4.5 second victory that we almost overshoot at the end there. You see me just packing it in. Didn't lock up the brakes, but very slow towards that stage. And we finished with all of the gusto. And once again, very, very clear victory over Esplanade.
Really well in there. Could be a stage win.
It's been a long time since I got to hear Mr. P. Mills say that we won a stage so consistently. And man, does it feel good. Going into the last split of this rally, holding a very solid lead over Esplanade. You see pretty much 30... What is that? Well, I moved the camera so I can't see, but we're doing well. I think right about 28 seconds. Yeah, 28 seconds-ish is the lead that we hold over Esplanade. And that is huge because the last couple of rallies, especially Germany, he beat us by like 2.5 minutes. So to swing that backwards just to be competing and then further excelling goes to show a lot. Now this one right here is probably the last long one, and probably the last stage that we will fully showcase here for this episode. So, locking in, repairing the car, giving ourselves the best possible way to get some speed going and end out this rally on a high note. Throw on the softs, lock in. Let's see how we do.
Starts 50, square left. Good luck.
And with that, we've got everything we need to finish this off on a high note. 314.9, Esplanade is the current stage leader. And as the lights go up, so do the revs. Holding it down for a bit of a power stage here. This one's going to be rapid. 50 into square left, opens 160 into chicane right entry. So we've been here before. We've done the stage. Let's see how we do. Left entry this time. My bad. A missed call on my end. Thank God I'm not a co-driver. And now we got the right entry for the chicane. Again, double downshift, watch your speed. As soon as you've made it power out accordingly, and you just flick it around that second hay bale, swinging the rear end around so that you can get on the power early but not clip it is the key. But if you get your timing wrong there, you will absolutely destroy a hay bale. And trust me, when it's a hay bale versus your car, that bale will win a lot more often than you think. One right into 120. Watch your speed on the entrance, as I did not. Lots of understeer going into that low speed section. Another one left here. Let's see if we learn from our mistakes. Hard on the brakes into the downshift. Send it in aggressively to cope with the understeer. That's one way to do it. Ideally, we enter a little bit slower, keep the tires in better condition, but if it works, it works. Consecutive high-speed corners into 50, into 3 left uphill. So watch your entrance. So the uphill means you're going to have a little bit more grip because gravity slows the car down. And up the hill, it's just pedal to the metal. Thankfully, kept speed through the uphill because acceleration just a little bit harder. And I know that sounds like we're really scraping and min-maxing these runs, but every corner counts when you're going as fast as we are here. into the high-speed braking zone, downhill, managed to get the car slowed down into an opening section right here. 5 left opens 150, slow, 6 left. Why are we slowing? Because there's a 1 right don't cut so hard on the brakes. Even though it's a 6 left around the concrete block, flick it around that corner into the open section again. 6 right, very long over bumps. So bumps are going to unsettle the car. How do we cope with it? We're going to keep towards the inside of the stage in case anything goes wrong, because we have a hairpin right here at the end of 120. Get the car slowed down if you can, flick it around the bales, power out, keeping the car in the power band there around that 1 right, and that is going to net us a lot of time as we can power out of that pretty solidly. Already almost into 5th gear, 4 right into 3 right, cuts into 5 left 100. So a little bit of a slowdown. We're going to try and keep on the inside, power out into the 5 right 100 because we know we've got speed in that section. 6th gear here, 5 left opens into 80 again. Massive speed being taken. Confidence in the car and the stage. Again, these little grass areas will not do that much damage to your car. If you want to carry a little bit of extra speed and really push the limits of these stages, do at your own risk, but it can gain you quite a bit of time. And this part right here is why the stage is one of the best. We're going to hard charge, 6 left into 200, flat big jump all the way at the top of 6th gear. Let's see how much we can get. Yeah, that's a big one. That is going to hurt a lot of backs, and thankfully this is a video game. Now, hard braking into a 5 right, into 6 left into square right. So, watch the braking, high speed is over with. We've got 100 into another square right. So again, clockwork at this point. Find your downshifts, find your line, power out as soon as possible. That is clockwork at this point. 120 into 6 left over 70. High speed section closing out this stage. 6 left over crest into 100. Again, you hear all these high-speed corners, you're back to your racing line. Out and in and out and flick it in for the consecutive 5 left over finish. 8-second victory. I told you guys, we did not come to play in Germany, and we most certainly did not. Absolute dominance from start to finish. And just in case you don't believe me, we will showcase the end of the last stage and finish out the weekend from there. But little pre-congratulatory session right here. Absolutely bossing the stage. No notes on the end zone. And that's how we like to finish it. Going in towards the end of the 10th here, real quick, before we go into the 10th, highlighting the jump of last stage. Yeah, that was massive air. Again, looking at the speed that we carried through these sections. Absolute confidence in the car over the course of this weekend. Did carry over to the 10th stage, in part losing to Espernard by only 1.7 seconds. It was a little bit of a victory lap, not 100% pushing the car because I did not want to risk any stupid mistakes. This was the first event this season that we raced at the capacity I know we have, and call for coming in for the co-driver if you didn't hear him. Event win in the bag. It is now official. Our first win of the season. And it feels good, man. It feels good. We'll see exactly what that does for us on the standings here for just a second. But now, soak it in. First victory of the season, finally doing the Subaru the justice that it deserves. As you saw from the leaderboards, Lancia more preferred car. But that is the top step of the podium in Germany. That's what we love to see. Espernard taking a little bit less points home than us. Helps us with our fantasy of catching him in the championship standings. Maybe not a fantasy. Very much doable. $166,000 positive at the end of the weekend. That's a good thing to see, especially after all we spent on the car. Engine mapping 5, almost in our grasps. And going into next week, we got a big one. 2nd in Australia, 7th in Greece, 1st place in Germany. And going into New England, man, am I excited. Another one of my personal favorites. I'm hoping to have a strong showing there and continue to dominate the way that I know we can. And after that victory and a pretty lackluster performance from Vidal, you see 14th in that rally. We are now handedly 2nd place in the championship, only 10 points behind Espernard, unless I misread that. Must like the intro said, just because our story has a lackluster beginning does not mean that that is who we are, because I know what we are is champions, and we're going to keep pushing it as the season goes on. But a little bit of highlight as to why I was gone for so long. For those of you that made it to the end of the video, again, I feel like you guys care the most. Series of unfortunate events. I laid out last time that I had recently moved in with a friend, and moving into the upstairs of a house compared to the first floor of an apartment, it's a lot hotter up here, and my PC was overheating. So I switched from an air cooler to a liquid cooler. A huge series of unfortunate events happened, and I was without a PC for about a week and a half, which is why I'm just now getting this video out to you. But the PC is back, upgraded, and cool. So the videos are going to start coming a lot more often, maybe a little bit better, And I had a recent viewer recommend more third-person angles for these videos. And I figured the way that these videos are structured, third person would either have to fit a very niche replay angle, or like I did in this video towards the end, highlights at the end. I will still do that because, again, I love showcasing that. But back by numbers and statistics, Rallycross is making a comeback to the channel here soon. Those videos always did pretty well, better than my Formula 1 videos, and I figured that's a great way to mesh wheel-to-wheel racing, the ability of third-person replays, and a little bit of variety on the channel, because I know just the stage rallies, whether it's no commentary or career videos, it can get a little repetitive. I understand. So Rallycross is making a comeback. Be excited for it. I know I am. I thank you guys so much for stopping in to watch this video. I really do appreciate it, especially after the hiatus. And if you made it to the end of this video, again, you guys are the best. Watching all the way through helps the algorithm so much. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure you heel toe that like and subscribe combo. And as always, I will catch you in the next one.